Hey, happy Friday, everybody, and welcome to another episode of your chamber check ins from Idaho's only five-star accredited chamber. Today, I'm so excited to feature Dane Mullen. He's the owner, founder, president, CEO of Pride Mental Health. Hi, Dane.
How's it going?
Good, really good. I'm looking forward to our discussion. You've been a member for over 8 years, and I remember that initial ribbon cutting when you invested in that space on, I believe it was on Fairview.
Yep.
But I didn't think about it then, but the importance of mental health and the services you offer have been elevated since that time, and they continue to elevate. And mental health impacts every industry, every person out there in our community. And I'm so glad that you've invested in the chamber. And I look forward to sharing a little bit more about Pride Mental Health. And Dane, these chamber check ins have been great ways of telling our members stories, sharing their products and services, but most importantly, the people. So let's start with that, Dane. Give us a little bit about your background and history of work that led you to becoming an entrepreneur and in the mental health care industry.
To be honest, I tried a lot of different industries. I was a young kid, I was a young father, and it was always important to be a good provider. And I had difficulty early on finding what felt like something that was me, something that genuinely resonated with me. That you always hear everybody talk about find something you love so that it never feels like work. I was actually halfway through my bachelor's degree and took a psychology course that sparked the idea of I was in for business management, and I just, again, I found something that resonated. And when I finally made the switch over to psychology, it seemed as though doors just started opening and opportunities were being presented. And I can't say that I chose the mental health field. I honestly feel as though it chose me. It was a place that some of my characteristics and unique perspectives on life and people and society really seemed to come together and fit. Not to sound too cheesy, but I found an industry that let me be my cheesy self, my loving self, and not just develop and nurture, but really accelerate my love for everybody else, my genuine want for everybody to be okay. And in 2011, I started with a small company. I graduated with my bachelor's, immediately jumped into what was then called PSR, psychosocial rehabilitation. And I had the opportunity in that role to develop a client list and would work with my clients out in the community in their homes. And a little bit later, I'm sure we'll talk about the services we offer. Now it's called something else, and we actually offer that here at Pride. But in that role, I really noticed an ability to connect with and make an impact with individuals. And I quickly learned in the field that most people jump into this field either to fix themselves or understand themselves better, or just to help others. And I think that there are merits to both of those perspectives, but I kind of adopted my own in the sense of anybody who's in the mental health field or healthcare field, it's really about helping others learn to help themselves rather than jumping in and being a fixer. And that perspective really catapulted a new direction for how I wanted to facilitate my ability to help others. And having a list of clients that I was having a positive impact with led to a want to seek a promotion so that I could be in charge of a team and could then carry that impact into a greater number of people. And from there, it just continued to snowball. And it wasn't that long before I developed a want to start my own agency. At the time, I thought that would be years and years down the road, and it came up faster, and it kind of circles back into those opportunities that were presented for me. So joined the field, fell in love with it, and I've been in it ever since, and just doing everything I can to try and help others recognize that yearning and set them up and support them so that they can do all they can to help others as well.
You know what? Just talking with you right now, I think has lowered my blood pressure already. So you can bill me for the services.
Free of charge, buddy.
Free of charge. Okay. You have that calming sense about you and that undeniably smooth and composed way of connecting with people, Dane. And
thank you.
We've already had a few comments from our listeners just talking about you, the man, Dane, and such a valuable and needed resource, right? From a few of our chamber members who are listening today. Where are you at currently? Are you in your office at the building? Tell us a little bit about your brick and mortar space first.
Yep. So we are located at 9488 Fairview. We're kind of halfway between 5 Mile and Mitchell. And I love this location because it allows us to serve multiple communities. We can get people up from the north end, east end up here on the bench. We can pull from Meridian, Eagle, Nampa. We have clients that live as far as Caldwell. So I feel like we kind of hit the nail on the head. We're pretty centrally located. But I'm currently in my office. It's actually probably a good representation of who I am. And I don't know, whenever we bring new members on, new staff members, and we're always trying to grow, but it's always super important that new members and new staff understand that their office needs to be not just a place of refuge and safety and comfort for their clients, but for them as well. I haven't worked directly with a client in over 6 years, and that's because I really don't want to bring anything into the mix that would distract me from my ability to support my team. I have loved working with all of the clients I have in the past. I miss it, to be real with you. However, I'm not hearing success stories from my clients. I'm hearing success stories from my staff members regarding their clients. And I've worked 3 other places in this field before starting Pride Mental Health. And one thing I really saw in common with between the 3 was the owner also saw clients. And if they were overly focused on the client care, as we should be in this field, there tended to be a little neglect on the administrative and the team support and team growth and individual growth, or vice versa. If they were focused on the company, they were lagging a little bit with their clients, and the clients may deserve more opportunity and more presence of mind from the person they're working with. So I really dedicate myself to being the best leader I can be. I don't often refer to myself as a leader. I am a colleague. I am a peer. And my job duties completely surround doing everything I can to make sure my team members are set up for success and can do their job. But as far as their offices go, if you take a tour through everybody's offices are a little bit different. It's a great representation of who they are. I'm a musician. I'm into superheroes. I'm into everything. And I just wanted everybody to create a place that they're happy to come to when we're all groggy in the morning. So,
wow. Dane, most businesses reach a ceiling at some point, and then the person who started the business has a passion for whatever it is, and then they get to this point where they're trying to expand, or maybe they're just up against the ropes and they've got to do human resources and pay the bills and all of it. And so I love how the fact that you've decided to, I've got to manage my operation, my space, my team, and I can't be in the weeds anymore and then let my talented people help our clients. So tell us about your people and services real quick while we're on that?
I have an amazing team, Paul. I am floored every day at their ability, their willingness to bend over backwards. All of the places I worked previous to this were bigger agencies, and that seemed to restrict some of the abilities we as providers had. I appreciate the fact that no matter how big we've gotten, we've been able to deal with every client, every situation, every barrier on a case-by-case basis. I cannot speak more highly of every single team member we have. We have 4 counselors, always looking for more. We have several community-based service providers. As far as getting into the services that we offer, counseling is the very heartbeat of everything we do. If somebody is having mental health struggles, talk therapy and the ability to come in and share that and gain some new perspective is at the heart of any potential for progress, in addition to the relationship they have with that individual. So everything we do is centered around the therapeutic experience. Our other services, we have 5 other services, and we refer to those as extended services. And the reason we call them extended services is because they truly are an extension of the therapy. A quick little explanation on that. If an individual comes in and is presenting any barriers or issues that would prevent them from getting everything they can out of therapy, the therapist will spark a conversation with the client as to what those barriers are and perhaps make a referral to these other extended services so that outside of therapy, the client can pair with and work with another individual just to address those issues as an extension of the therapy they're already receiving from the counselor. Those services are CBRS, and that is essentially what PSR was. It is psychosocial rehabilitation. It focuses on helping clients identify triggers, symptoms, develop coping strategies, and start working away from maladaptive tendencies that might further them away from their personal goals. But it's solely focused on symptom management, and that's community-based rehabilitation. We also have target case management, which is a service that allows individuals to connect with community resources, things that are already available out in the community that will help meet whatever upfront demand they have. If a client has transportation barriers that it's going to prevent them from getting to their therapy appointment, a couple of options. We can kick it over to telehealth, which has been amazing, a silver lining that came out of COVID. But they might help them obtain bus passes, schedule medical transport. They will get them connected to resources to overcome that barrier. If their basic needs aren't met in the home and they don't have enough food in the home, they're going to connect them to local churches and food drives and get them connected to resources to meet those needs. Because it's really hard to focus on your mental health when your basic needs aren't even met. The other 3 services that we have in place right now are all very similar, and they each address a different age group. And that's certified peer support, which is for adults 18 and above. Certified youth support for adolescents aged 12 to 17 and almost 18. And then certified family support, which offers a similar service to youth under 12, but it focuses more on the family unit rather than just an individual, because the children are very young. You're often working with the parents or guardians. Peer, family, and youth support are a little bit different from CBRS and TCM. CBRS and TCM are they're not overly authoritative, but you can consider them more authoritative. It's somebody coming into the home saying, you've identified these goals, and for me to help you reach those, we're going to do A, B, and C. peer, family, and youth support are individuals that have become certified that have lived experience. They've managed their own issues for no less than a year, and they've sought out a certification to go in and help individuals realize that they're not going through those situations alone, but they're also not the only individuals that have gone through those situations.
Right.
So it's very non-authoritative. It's just, the word support is in the title because that's really what it is. It's an individual to go out and support someone that might not have other natural supports. So it's a companion to say, you know what, I've been through something similar, and here's what I did, here's what worked, here's what didn't work. And no matter what you choose, right or wrong, I'm going to be here with you to go through it with you. We have something, I might be getting ahead of myself, but we're actually in the process of seeking credentialing for a new service that we're really excited about. And it's something that I've wanted to do since we opened, and that's medication management.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. So most of my whole team, medication management is a topic all in itself. I mean, we're talking about a conversation near but beside the barriers and the stigma that mental health carries, and seeking treatment and trying to overcome such. Med management is a similar but parallel conversation. When they're appropriate, what's appropriate, for how long they are appropriate. And we were lucky enough to connect with an individual that fell in love with who we are, the way we operate, and has agreed to help us build this from the ground up. And we're hoping within the next couple of months, we're going to be offering medication management for those that it's appropriate for, and in an appropriate and effective way. And we kind of view that as another extension of therapy. It's not meant to dominate. We don't want to over medicate anybody. And we don't want to give somebody a Band-Aid and send them back out into the community and say, everything's good. Medication can be very appropriate, kind of similar to CBRS, helping individuals manage symptoms that are getting in the way of their progress. And if we can help get those symptoms minimized, well managed, there's so much more potential to find success in the therapeutic experience with their counselor.
Dane, I have your website and phone number scrolling on the bottom of the screen.
Awesome.
I would say that every single person has some type of thing that they're thinking about that's not always positive, right?
Absolutely. It's a heavy field.
And you guys are hearing it every single day. It's like a healthcare worker that always hears the bad stuff, or a police officer, or a fireman who's always getting the negative stuff in the community. And I'm so glad that there's an outfit like Pride Mental Health there to catch that, to help support them. And kudos to you and your team of counselors, your expert team. Thanks for investing in an actual space where people can meet and gather, offering the telehealth services as well, and defining barriers and overcoming those barriers for help. It's time just to pull down the shade of being scared to talk about stuff, because the first thing you do is when you talk about stuff, it almost calms it down already,
Absolutely.
I love you're talking about helping in the future with you're talking about your helping folks manage their prescriptions or whatever it is. I think that's huge too, because the opioid crisis and the fentanyl that's out there. And I love that you're working with the adolescents as well. There's just a lot of stuff going on in this world nowadays that parents don't even know how to talk to their kids about. So thanks for that, Dane. In the last couple minutes that we have here, I noticed that you're a different kind of service provider, not because of what you do, but how and why you do it. And I noticed that just from talking to you and also from your website. Is there anything else while we have you that you'd like to educate the public on?
Well, you talk about pulling down the blinds. I think there is a lot of good conversation happening about mental health that wasn't happening pre-COVID, or even, with or without COVID. There's such a stigma about reaching out for help, man. And if there's anything I can drive home, it's we as individuals have to find a way to get past whatever part of ourselves is blocking our own access to things that will help us be successful, things that will increase our state of living to a higher level. And there are ways to live better. Again, with or without COVID, but the fact is we went through COVID. It really changed a lot of people. It impacted every single person I know and more. I know it impacted the whole world, obviously. There's never been a more important time to connect. And that's one of the things that I talk about on the website. Is one of our focuses is access to services.
Yep.
I have 4 counselors right now, and it seems like a lot, but that's 4 personality types, and that's not going to match with everybody.
Right.
I can continue to try and increase our team. I'm always willing to explore development with good people. But to be honest, I think it's important to look forward and anticipate that not everybody's going to click and connect with our 4 counselors. And so the last 6.5 years, we have really done everything we can to throw ourselves into community events and make connections with other organizations, and take that a step further and really ensure that the people that we want to consider sending, people that come to us for help, if we can't help them, they're still not going to be alone, because we're absolutely going to bridge them to somebody that can help, and we will walk them through the door. We will connect them. Our goal is simple and cheesy, and that's we want to help people.
Love it.
To reemphasize, we want to help people learn to help themselves and give them the tools. But when we can't, we need to know who those good people are so that we can still get them connected. And it's just been an incredible honor to have joined the community of support and opportunities that are out there for people. We just want to help the community be stronger. And that starts on every single level, at every single level, with just every single individual.
We're heading into the holiday season, which is an elevated time for mental health awareness and people talking with families and all the issues with going back and forth between parents and grandparents. And anyway, you have this tab on your website, and it's called, it's under resources, and there's a list of holiday resources.
Yep.
It's a little bit dated, but it still shows if your basic needs aren't met, here is a list of things for food insecurity, shelter, those types of things. And I really love that you have that all in one place. So, Dane, thank you for your investment in the community. Thank you for your investment in the chamber for all these years. I'm so glad that there's a place like Pride Mental Health that you can go to and be yourself and get connected with somebody you can groove with, right? Yep. I think that's so important. And you and your family have a great weekend and Thanksgiving holiday, Dane.
You as well, man. I appreciate it. It's an honor. Thank you, Paul.
Say hi to the team.
Hello, team.